Welcome to Honest Combos with Karen
and Marcia. We're longtime biz besties bringing you along for the journey of building a business and life you actually want.
No fluff, no filters, just honest conversations about the highs, the lows, and everything in between.
So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's get into it. Okay, we're talking about pricing today and undercharging, and I literally had to stop recording because the first go around was so awkward. So I've already apologized to Karen a bunch of times today, in preparation for this conversation because it's a deep topic, and I know we have talked about this in previous years, previous episodes, but when you are a service-based business owner, how you price, it's so what's the word? Like it's so there's no right way to do it. I read this in a book once. It was like there's chiropractors that charge thousands of dollars for an adjustment, and then there's some that charge like $100 or $200. And so you have total control of how you price, but that's not necessarily a good thing because of all the doubt and fear and questions that you have that come up. So, Karen,
It is because it's personal, right? Like when you're a company and there are like many moving parts, many departments that are a part of the success of a project, it's like you're not as close to like the price and the value personally. But when you're a solopreneur, it's all you. Like the pricing is literally about you. So, because you're delivering, you are all the departments. And so it is hard. And so when we're thinking about like the fear to, and I don't love the phrasing charge what you're worth. I understand where it comes from, but I don't know. I do have some issue with that, but we'll get past that in another episode. But like when you have like a fear about the price that you're going to charge or like charging too much, really that's what we're talking about. Because I don't know that there's as much inner turmoil overcharging too little. It's really when it comes to, well, why is that $1,000? Why isn't it five? Oh, whoa, five. Whoa, 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 can't be five. Like five is that's too much. And then it's like, why is it too much? Like really unpacking what you feel the value is to your customer that you are serving. Because that's what we're talking about. It's not your worth, really. It's what is the value of what you're doing for the customer? How does it change their life, improve their business, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so I'm excited to talk more about this because I think it's such a struggle area.
it really is. Yeah. You're pinpointing what sales is it's the value that you're providing to someone else. So, but when you are doing the pricing, all of that responsibility is on your shoulders because you're the one that has to deliver the results that they're expecting. And so I do think that for me, like I tend to undercharge because I'm fearful that I'm not going to, well, inside my brain, I see things a lot differently, I think, than other people do. I have a hard time processing information. So, like, having conversations or reading or listening to things, like, it's just my processing unit is a little bit out there. And so that's great, like, in conversations and everything. But when we're coming down to expectations from a business owner, I have found that because I am afraid that I'm not gonna do what they want or expect to be done, then I charge them lesser because I'm like, "Yeah, well, if they were to go to someone who is an expert in this, they're gonna pay, 5 times what I'm charging them." But then it's like I get resentful because I'm spending all of the time and I'm on the struggle bus and I'm trying to meet expectations, which I don't even know what their expectations are because I'm writing the stories about what they, Karen, like, and you've
Yeah.
known me for like a decade, and I feel like you see this probably. I probably I'm probably more open with you about it than anyone else. But yeah, like the undercharging just for fear of disappointing the person and then being like, "Yeah, well, you would have paid so much more with someone else." And it's like, "But I don't want to deliver a product that's not up to their expectation, but I don't know what their expectations are, and they don't either, especially if they're like brand new in business." Oh my god, help me.
Yeah.
Help us.
Yeah. No, I mean, I mean, that's a perfect illustration of the swirl and the struggle, right? Because you're right. I mean, it is like, what if I charge this much and they expect, okay, well, it better be like the best whiz bang service I've ever received. And I come up, 20% of what they were thinking. And then it's like, do they, like you said, do they even have expectations, especially when they're newer? Or they are not an expert in this. That's why they're hiring you in the first place. Like they don't really know what all it would take to build a website. So they need someone to do it for them. Like they might not know it's going to take X amount of hours, or this is really the process that it takes to get that website live. They're just going to see that final result. And it's like, oh, I hate the colors, or I don't like, and then it's like, oh, really? And I only charged them 500. Great. And so I should have charged you like 10 times that. So it does, because it will. There's no doubt in my mind that if you undercharge, you will feel resentful. Like that's just like it's A and a B equals C or what, one, two, three, whatever. It's just like a foregone conclusion. If you undercharge, you will be a little resentful or a lot resentful, depending on how much you feel like you undercharged. And so you have to think about that when you're setting a price, like if you have a project proposal that you're putting together or something like that, like, or if you just have like a menu of services that are at a set price, like think about like what is the price that if this is like an a-hole client or the best client ever, like whatever, like that I will feel good about, that I won't be resentful if they want to change this, change that, or, just like really play it out in your mind. Like think about the whole life cycle of the project and like what price feels like it will be a good value of your time and that they're going to get great stuff. Like, and we talked about that in self-sabotage, and we'll keep talking about that in future episodes. Like, you are as good as you think you are. Like, just lead with that understanding. You are as good as you think you are. They are going to get a great whatever it is that you're delivering. So from that place, what price really is the price that feels the best to you, that no matter what they put you through or no matter how great they are, because they could be the best client ever, right? Like what is that price? And come at it from that angle. Cause yeah, if you undercharge, oh my gosh, it's hell. It's hell undercharging. I know, because I've been there. I've charged people $500 for a freaking WordPress website. I had one girl, she signed up and then she was like, we never actually did the project. And I'm like, for like months, I was like, do I give her a refund? Like, I'm like, and then it's like, I had clear terms and conditions. We had the initial call. She never submitted any of the things like communication, everything was clear. I mean, it was just the weirdest thing. Like to this day, 4 or 5 years later, she never actually took advantage of the service she paid for. But I did all the things I was supposed to do. So I was like, and it was only $500. Now, had I charged her 5,000, I probably would have hunted her down a bit more, right? I probably would have been like, "Hey, like we have a contract here and I need to do my thing, so please give me what I need." But for 500, I'm like, I mean, I'm here when you are ready, but you don't seem to be interested. So,
That's funny you said that. There's a couple things that you said that I wanna talk more about, but, like, when you charge someone $5,000, they're gonna show up. Like, if
mhm.
it's like a 50% deposit and she's gotta put down 2,500, like, she's showing up, like, she's committed. When it's $500 though, that's like maybe she wanted to take action and she thought like this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and so she paid it, and then it's like the courses that we buy that we don't really
Yep.
participate in, but it's like, "Oh, I gotta spend that money because like I'm investing in myself, I'm investing in my business." And then you're like like in the self-sabotage, we talked about this, where maybe you're just paying for something because you want to take action, but then it's not actually in alignment with what you need right then. So the recent client, while I was in it, like, I had so much self-doubt that I was providing what was needed because, like, a design was shown to me, and I'm like, "I that's just not something that," I'm not like a web developer. Like, I can throw a website up very easily. Like, I can do Squarespace, and, like, when you said 500 for WordPress, like, part of my soul died because, like, that's so because that's I did a WordPress site recently, and man, I will never like, that's not even an option, and we'll talk about that in a future episode about clarity and making sure that you're communicating to your clients what you'll provide, but I guess I wasn't as clear, even though I said I highly recommend that we do it on this, and he was like, "No, it needs to be on WordPress," and so I've done websites on WordPress before. I feel like when you have the opportunity to get a project, being afraid that you're gonna be able to deliver, I think another reason that we underprice is because we're hungry for that project, because we like, if we were to price it at a certain amount, like, it's kind of like you're using your intuition, like, I know this person's story, or I've created this person's story in my head, and they can't afford to pay what it would really cost, but I wanna help them, I'm connected to them. That's my biggest issue is I write stories for people. I come up with all these different scenarios, and then I'm like, "Well, if I was just starting out, I would really want somebody to give me," and it's like,
Hmm.
I have to stop doing that because they really don't know what goes into it. That's why they're hiring out. And and so I just need Karen, I need like a I need somebody like a keeper. I need somebody to just keep me in line and be like, "Marsha, do you really want to spend the next 2 to 3 weeks just like stressing out about this?" And the thing is, if you do price it correctly, like, if I had charged, $10,000, if I needed to bring someone else in, like hire someone to help, I would be able to pay them. But when you undercharge, then you're kind of stuck. And like, for me to know that I'm never building on that platform again, but then to like have to, because in the past I would be like, oh well, at least I'm like learning something new. No, WordPress is dead to me. I will never again. Karen, she's cracking up.
That is too
Like,
funny. Yeah.
it's I will, so at least in the past, I'd be like, "Oh, well, lesson learned." Like, yeah, I spent some money on marketing material. I didn't get like a response for it or whatever, but it's like, okay, I can see that I learned something in the process. But like for this one, it was just like never again. And so, yeah, I think so what are your thoughts on that though about being hungry for business because we have baby birds to feed at home, like
Hmm.
we need to make a living. Like, we're not this isn't a nonprofit. Like, even nonprofits, I worked for a nonprofit. They make a lot of money. I'm not making that kind of money. Anyway, like, what are your thoughts about pricing it? And then yeah, go on. I know
Yeah.
you're
No,
itching.
no, that's so much good stuff there. But I think you're right. It is well, I don't know if I'm going to get another client. I should take this one. They're doing me a favor by hiring me. Like, I need the client. Like, so you have to, and we can get into that. We've talked about that in our previous seasons and we'll talk about it more, but like that scarcity versus abundance, the mindset, like if you say no to this one, the right one will come. Like you have to believe that and continue to do the things that make it happen, right? It's not just sit at home and watch TV and clients magically drop into your lap. But I've tried that strategy, it doesn't work. So, but it really is like that, like being okay with pricing where you know it should be and letting that be available to the right client that, and if it's not this one, and you can sometimes there could be some a la carte, right? Like I remember having a web project and I went to my highest. I was like, I had never priced it that high. I think it was like $18,000. And I was like, that's my high point. Like that's how much I want. If you want me to build your whole damn website, and I'm not a developer either, but like doing the whole website, all the funnels, all the things. It was just like a big project, setting up their FG funnels, like all the stuff. And, they were like, they had the funds, but they were nervous to commit kind of the same concept, ironically, because they were nervous to commit to investment in their business in that at that level because they weren't sure that they would make it back. So that was a doubt they had about their service, their coaching. It was a husband and wife team, and they had like some family coaching or something. But so anyway, so they're like, does it have to be all or nothing? And I was open to the discussion. I'm like, no, I mean, if you're like, okay, we just want to do the funnel, like that's fine. And that's where we landed. And I was able to, again, I still adjusted the price to where I wanted it to be for even that piece, right? Like that was like my best test of like, can I do this? And I was doing that business with my sister, right? So I remember going back and forth with her, like, do you think we can charge this much? Like, is it too much? And then I'm seeing comparable pricing from other places that are like 30, 40, 50K for the same thing. So I'm sitting here like, can I charge 18? And I'm seeing the same exact thing from other service providers. Of course, they have bigger teams, but to your point, by charging 18, we were going to bring in other people. Like we had a network that we had access to. I had already started to write like, okay, we're going to need this type of support and we can put the little job postings out. So like that was going to allow us to bring in the experts in little pieces that we didn't have. But I mean, it was just very interesting, even like as I'm reflecting on that experience of like, can I charge that much? And I'm not even at the top end of the market. I'm just like thinking it's so much, but and being okay that they were like, nah, we can't do that part. And I was okay to negotiate with them, but like I still kept the price for even the smaller part of the service where I wanted it to be. Like that was when I got to the point where I was like, I'm not doing this for less than X amount. Like I remember I was like, it's not happening. It's like if they don't want to pay, they can keep it moving. Like I had got to. So you don't want to go maybe that far because then I ended up stopping that business because I was just over it. But you don't want to go that far into the like, oh, you're gonna pay this or goodbye. But you also don't want to be the like, oh, I'll take it. Oh, I'll do it. Oh, I can lower it. Oh, I'll make sure it fits your budget. Like, no. Like it does, you have to find your balance.
I love that, yeah, and I think that that does end a lot of businesses where you just have a couple situations and, like, maybe it's repeated a few times and you're just like, "You know what? Like, I'm never gonna be able to figure this out. Like, I don't know the secret formula. There is no secret formula," But you convince yourself, like, it's so much easier for everyone else and, like, yeah, the people that are charging $50,000 for what you were doing, they do like, that's because their overhead's higher because they have people who, like, all these different probably salaried employees that they're pulling in, whereas like you, that's the issue with solopreneurs is that we're so used to doing everything ourselves that we think like, okay, well, I can figure this out, I can do this. But when you do that, it does lower your vibe, it puts you in the scarcity mindset, and then that's what you're attracting in. Always have such a hard time, like, forecasting, like, realistically, how much time is this gonna take? And I actually did with when I provided the proposal because the client had said, "I'd like it to be on WordPress." So I proposed different cost to put it on Squarespace and then to put it on WordPress. So, like, that did open the door for him, and then when he said, "I wanna do it on WordPress," I was like, and, like, and that's like the intuition and everything. I don't know. I had a discovery call yesterday with somebody that I met at a networking event, and I'm just like going into things now. Like before it starts, I'm just like asking for guidance from my intuition. Like if this is part of the plan for me, let it be easy, And I had this conversation with this gentleman when I met him at a networking event. He asked what I did, and I said I do branding and operations, and he was like, "Oh, branding," and he just lit up, and I was like, "Oh my god, you don't usually get people who are business owners like light up about branding. They're usually like, oh, like they think it's like unnecessary or they don't understand it." And so with him lighting up like that, I was like, "Oh wow," So then he set up a like a free consult, and so we had the meeting, and I thought he was, like, looking to hire me, like, that he had checked out my website and everything, but I think he was just trying to connect, which I did end up connecting with someone else where she just sent me an email and was like, "Hey, it was so nice meeting you, like, let's chat." And the 2 conversations happened the same day. We had two different meetings, and, I reached out to him and I was like, "Oh, I don't it doesn't seem like you're looking to hire right now." So and it was just weird though because I don't know, like, I went into the meeting, and when I sent him the email response, like, "It was so nice meeting you. It seems like this was more of a connection call than a free consult. I'd love for us to stay in each other's orbit," or whatever. I didn't say something that stupid, but basically, and I typed it all out too. I didn't even need like ChatGPT or anything for like clarity. And I sent him the message and was like, like let's stay in touch or keep each other in mind for like different networking opportunities. And then he did respond and he was like, "No, I would like to talk to you more about branding and everything." So, anyway, like that was a long way to say that like I am trusting my intuition more and like just having faith. If this is meant for me, then it's going to be something where I can grasp it immediately and I can forecast it and I can actually communicate in a clear way like what's going to happen because the conversation with him it just was not like he didn't know what he wanted and I'm like I'm done forcing. Like I'm not going to tell people what they need. Like I'm going to tell them what I can do, what I excel at, and then if that's a fit then they can hire me cuz like I really I can't I'm too old. I'm too old and tired. Not tired, but I am because that was at the builder. Like, they hired me to do something, and then they were telling me to do other stuff, and I'm like, "I need to be in my zone of genius, or I'm gonna be completely depleted all the time." So,
Yeah. No, I love that you talked about like your intuition and listening to yourself and just staying tuned in. Because again, this is your business, this is your service, this is your pricing. Like it is all about you. So it has to be coming from you, from what you want, that it's serving your vision for your life, for your business. It has to all connect so that you
yeah.
can stay in alignment. Um, and we'll talk and I think you shouted out let it be easy. I feel like we had an episode
Yeah.
about that before. But
Yeah.
that's good for us to keep talking about too. Is like all of this is hard,
It
but
is.
there are ways for it to feel easier, even though it's hard stuff, like it can feel easier by staying in alignment. Like, really, that's the key. People wonder, like, well, how? Like, it's really just being aligned. When you're doing stuff that's in your zone of genius, when you're doing things that are what you actually want to be doing, it feels easier. And the pricing has to be one of those things where it just feels like the right price. Like, it's like you said, there's no handbook, there's not going to be a magic formula. I mean, I'm sure someone out there has a pricing calculator or maybe Chat GPT could tell you, but like at the end of the day, you have to just feel it. It has to literally just feel like the right price. It
Yeah.
feels like the price that you're excited to get out of bed for, the price that you're excited if that client calls you with some feedback on the initial draft, or the price that you're excited if you have to have a meeting, or what, like whatever that price is that gets you excited about all the things that you're going to have to do to deliver, that's the price.
Yeah. Yeah, because when you are excited, I feel like you perform better, So, like, you're kind of pulled into, like, a vortex where, like, you're hyper focused and you're, like, excited to get the job done or to even present something and then that person is like, "Oh my god, this is just what I wanted," or "This is great, but like I want this different," instead of like that fear. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
but for me it is that difficult like I did like the full-time pay. I liked having that consistent money coming in and then when you're a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, like I really like selling. I like closing deals. And so I need to divorce closing a deal from undercharging, right? Because I think like, okay, well, if the price is too good to be true, like I know I'm going to overdeliver. Like that's just how I am. Like if I have to fucking stay up Oh my god, excuse my language.
Ooh, the first F-bomb.
Dude, first F bomb of the season. If I have to stay up all night to get something done, like, I'm going to do that. Yeah, I have to Karen. But it's like
Yeah, you are
it's
as good as you think you are, right? Like,
yeah,
you know you're gonna do your thing. You know
yeah.
you're gonna be great.
But
Yeah.
when it's slow, it's so slow, and you're just like, "How am I gonna not have any clients that I'm working?" But it's not true, I have retainer clients, you know? But it's like, I always trick myself. I'm like, "If I don't close this deal," like, I wanna have a 100% close rate, and it's like, "Stop thinking like that, you are insane." So maybe I should, like, aim for, like, a 20% close rate, and where it's just, like, those 20% are, like, A plus clients, you know?
Mhm,
Where, like, I'm
mhm.
really able to yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
So
good
I hope,
conversation.
I know, I hate to cut us off, but we're trying to keep our episodes at a reasonable, like, in the car ride on the way to the store length. But yeah. And I mean, like we've talked, I mean, we're gonna keep, like, the conversation will continue, right? We'll always be pulling these threads. And we want to hear from you. So, don't be shy. Hit us on social, tell us what you think, share your experience. I think we're gonna work on a way for you to send us a voice note too, so that'll be fun.
Ooh.
But yeah, I mean, just stay in the conversation with us, because this business is so hard again. So we need to find the ways to let it be easy, and also stay in the community together, because that also helps it feel like we're not alone, not doing this by ourselves. It's not just you, it's all of us.
Yep.
Hey, friend, loving this combo?
Then don't keep it to yourself.
Hit that follow button so you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling extra generous,
Leave us a quick review. It helps more women find the show, and it honestly means the world to us.
and we really want to connect beyond the podcast. So come say hi on social.